Okay, so welcome back in this part two. So in part one, we have seen that how did we create virtual how did we create a CentOS 7.4 base image on VirtualBox. We had pulled Ansible, we had installed Docker, we had created two containers called slave1 and slave2, and we had configured the passwordless login for root user, and we have configured other necessary things in order to make the HTTP 2.5 installation done properly. So now we already had copied the repo directory that has all the Ambari and all the HTTP 2.5 RPMs in it. So we are going to we are going to copy the repo files into yum repos.d in order to build the repository. Okay, so I will just do that. So we do have the repo directory for Ambari and HDP repo in HDP 2.5. So let me just copy that. So let me first go there. Should be in where www html repo Ambari, and we do have CentOS, and here we do have ambari.repo, right? So we need to copy this into etc yum.repos.d, and we need to again do the same thing for HTTP also. This is the HTTP repo file, so I'm going to copy this again into etc yum.repos.d. If you go to cd/etc yum.repos.d, basically you will see this ambari.repo and hdp.repo, right? So let me just get on it and just tell you that where it is pointing. So it is pointing to, so this is our master machine name, repo ambari. So this is the directory where this repo file is there. Similarly, we do have HTTP repo, and HTTP repo is there on here. So it is actually pointing to this particular location in order to find all the RPMs that we will be requiring in order to install the HTTP 2.5 on our 3-node cluster. Okay, so once you do that, just do yum repo list so that it will get everything. Now we are ready to install Ambari. So I will say sudo yum install Ambari server. Say yes. Now from this point onwards, though we are running the container slave1 and slave2 that is on the same machine, but then we can easily consider them to be the independent node. Okay, though they are all running on the same base machine. Okay, they're all sharing the same kernel, they're all sharing the same hardware resources. Okay, so our Ambari installation is going on. Okay, our Ambari installation is done. We just need to start it now. And once it's what it says, I'm sorry, we need to first set up we need to set up the Ambari server first. So let me go with the normal command. I mean, it should be like temporary. Okay, so it is just disable the Linux temporarily that we want, and we don't want to customize our Ambari server, so just say, and I'm going to have JDK 1.7 with its JC policy enabled. Our JDK 1.7 is installed now. I don't want to put any advanced configuration for database, so let it be. Okay, so our Ambari server setup is completed, so we need to now start it. So once it gets started, we can easily, access it through port 8080. Okay, so we have our server started. Ambari server started, completed successfully. So let me just go here and refresh my browser basically. And so this is the welcome page of Ambari server. Let me sign in with admin. Now from this point onwards, we can easily create the cluster. Let me name it as new cluster. Go next. Select the default. We are using CentOS 7, so basically we will put this Reddit 7. You can remove this other options. Okay, we need to use local repository, and for this we can just do cat on / etc yum.tools.d and hdp.repo. You just need to copy this. So we need to now copy this URLs for Hdp2.5 here, and for utils we require this. Do next. Put all your host name. So I will just say vi / then this is our slave 1, slave 2, and you need to do just cat cd.ssh cat id.rsa. so this is the private key of root user. I'm going to put it here. Now to register and confirm. Okay, so we got success on master 2, slave 1 and slave 2. So this master 2 is our base machine on which we do have slave 1 and slave 2 installed. So it's kind of very good use case where in this is all related. These are all on the single machine, single VM that we are running, right? So currently we do have only one VM running, that is this one, CentOS Docker, and on this we do have, we are trying to install 3-node cluster. So our Ambari agent got registered successfully, get installed on things. Let's start with very basic HDFS service only. Okay, you are not going, you cannot install all this because they they all require a lot of RAM. Okay, and then on the top of it, basically we do only one machine in which we are trying to create a 3 node cluster. So I will go with HDFS only just to use in this tutorial. So I will use Zookeeper also, that is a dependency. That's it. I will say next, proceed anyway. So our name node is going to install a master 2, secondary name node on slave 1, Zookeeper master, slave 1, slave 2. Okay, so this server are just, so you can have some high availability also if you require. So let me currently I don't want that. This is enough. So say next, and my data node will be on all 3, and let me have the client only on master 2. So next, rest everything is okay. To next, deploy. So it will take few minutes. So finally we are having the success, and on the same VM we do have 3 node cluster setup with 1 base machine, and another 2 are the containers, Docker containers, right? So let me do next. Let's complete and just test if everything works fine. So here if you go and check the hosts, basically you will see that there are 3 hosts, and this IP address will tell you that these are not in the same subnet, right? So slave 1 and slave 2 are in the different subnet, and master 2 is, but they all are on the same machine, so they are visible to each other. But through Windows basically we are not able to ping this because these are like completely private to this master2.cluster.com, right? Because this particular virtual network got created inside our VM that is not visible to our Windows. So if I try to do ping from here 172.17.0.2, so it is basically unreachable. That means that if you go and try to access the slave 1, and there is a data node, if you click on it, or if you try to get the web HDFS front end 50,070, so basically from here you can browse the file system, okay, that is coming from the master node that is visible to our Windows. So if you go to live data nodes, and if you try to open them, basically it is not going to hit. Why? Because it is not visible to Windows. So from the Windows browser we are not able to open it. So it will give you some message that it's not reachable or it's not found. Okay, so there are 3 data nodes. One is installed on master2.cluster.com, that is the first base machine, and the slave 1 and slave 2 are the Docker containers. Okay, so it is just revolving, so it is not going to go ahead. So let me open this. Okay, so now it has given us message that it is not reachable. So let me open this one, and it is opened. Why? Because we are hitting this thing, because this IP address is visible to Windows. Now we need to set some port forwarding for the same in order to make it work. Okay, so we will see that later. I mean, that's not the part of this tutorial, but basically that thing needs to be set up somewhere in our base machine here, and we need to set the Docker networking properly, so that through Windows we are able to hit those IP addresses. Okay, so now this tutorial I think will helpful for you in order to make your own 3 node cluster setup using this Docker container and using Ansible. Okay, so hope you like it, and please subscribe our channel bytebigdata.com, and so that you will get the notification of whenever we post new videos. And if you have some use cases, if you are working on some things, basically if you want to share some of the use cases where if you want us to create some good videos about it, so that it will be helpful for you in future. So let us know in the comments. Thank you very much.